Now, the reason I'm on my knees here is because I want to show you something about how this true Mula also relates to what's often students will call a pinched groin, and often is an exacerbated insertion of the psoas. So your psoas muscle, one of the main postural muscles, really it begins right at L3 and 4. So the front face of your lumbar vertebrae, very deep toward the back body. And this hip flexor moves through the pelvis and inserts right here on the upper inner thigh, a little bump on that inner thigh bone called the lesser trochanter. Now, if you're a person who has, and many dancers have this more natural sway back where you have a super emphasized lumbar curve and perhaps a tendency to spill forward and down through the second chakra, through the low belly, or if you're a woman who has recently given birth and the heaviness of the baby while in womb is pulling an extra sway back into your posture, you may experience this pinched groin. So part of moving into true Mula, or that deeper Mula Bandha, can help us reclaim our pelvic floor and our deep abdominal muscles so that we can get a sandwiching feeling here in the low back, the sacrum pressing in, the low belly pressing in from the front, and there's great stability here, as well as a relief of this overstretched, often overstretched psoas that will tug on that insertion point, creating the sensation of a pinched groin. Okay, so that's a long explanation for how powerful this one exercise for feeling and activating true Mula Bandha can be. Okay, so you'll lay on your back, and a block between your upper inner thighs is helpful, although it's not necessary. Really simple action here, and a lot of it is isometric, so you're not really going to see what's happening. You have to try this to feel it, but I think my verbal description will be powerful enough, clear enough that you'll get it. Okay, so you lay on your back here. Really nice to get your shoulder blades on your upper back so your outer shoulder skin is rolling down. Yeah, nice and open across the chest. But mainly, again, we're working with the pelvic floor. And just noticing if there's space between the mat and your lumbar curve. And that's good to find that space. But for this exercise, for this balancing and awakening of Mula Bandha, you're going to want to push that curve out. So that's the first thing. The tip of your tailbone, hook it up to your knees until you feel the area right above your pubic bone. Pull down, broaden, and push the low back into the mat. And then lift your toes so you have dorsiflexion in your feet. You're digging the outer edges of your heels into the mat. Now what you're going to do is push with your heels toward the foot end of your mat as if you were trying to slide your whole torso toward the head end of your mat, and then scoop the tailbone as you squeeze the block. You're going to feel your quadriceps engage and your anterior tibialis, the muscles here on your shins will also engage. The hamstrings will feel like they're hanging loose, and that's what you want. Okay, so here we go. Push with the heels like you're trying to slide your torso up. Hook your tailbone and then feel the pelvic floor. Can you tone it here? And notice you don't have to bring your sit bones close to each other to get this incredible transverse abdominis, or deep low belly activation, and a toning of the pelvic floor, a toning that naturally draws energy up. Now here's the thing. Breathe around it. So we'll do 3 rounds. As you push with your heels, hook your tailbone, and tone your pelvic floor. Inhale, let the side ribs flare and the upper chest lift. Now keep the toned pelvic floor, the push of the heels as you exhale, and the navel pulls down. So we're never letting go of that Mula, that root, that Bandha. Here we go again. Inhale, heels push. Hook the tailbone, tone the pelvic floor, breathe in. Soften the jaw, breathe out. But oh, feel Mula Bandha, feel the toned pelvic floor and that low belly. Uddiyana Bandha, navel pulls back, and go again. push like heck through the heels, hook the tailbone, inhale. And keep the Mula Bandha present as you exhale. Can you soften your eyes and jaw, but stay fierce in the core? And then release the feet and rest a bit. Yeah. So this evens out the action of the leg muscles, the quadriceps and the hamstrings, and also teaches us to keep the core super active so we're not dumping forward through the second chakra and creating that pinch in the groin, that aggravation of the psoas insertion. Okay, let's go one more time. And this is something to do every day. Get to yoga class early, or teachers add it to part of your abdominal strengthening part of the class. So dorsal flexion in the feet. Push through the heels, hook the tailbone. Find your pelvic floor, tone it, inhale, let the breath come in through side ribs flaring out, upper chest puffing. And exhale, condense the energy into your bones rather than letting yourself go puddly. Again, push with the heels, hook the tailbone. As you exhale, keep the core steady. Again, heels push, hook tailbone, inhale energy up, flaring the side ribs out. Exhale, condense it into your bones. And then release. And try it without the block as well. Yeah, and you can just let the breath be more casual and steady. Without the block, you get a little bit more action of the quadriceps. The block helps the adductors activate to help out with the push. But without the block, you can get really strong in the quadriceps. Again, also in the anterior tibialis, the muscles that connect the two lower leg bones. All right, so promise, last one. Push with the heels, inhale, super toned right above the pubic bone as the tailbone curls up. Yeah, keep that neck soft as you exhale. You'll feel it super rooting. Inhale, charge through the heels, drink from the pelvic floor into the heart. Soften, exhale, everywhere but the root. And one more, push through the heels, tone the pelvic floor and drink the energy up. Keep the pelvic floor toned, exhale, soften through the shoulders, the eyes, but stay fiercely rooted in your Mula Bandha. Okay, play with that often and start moving it through, that awareness through your asanas and even in the way that you move through the world. And you'll feel that strong lift from pelvic floor, that pulling back of the second chakra, the transverse abdominis, and that will start to alleviate any pinching that you might feel in the groins. Thanks for tuning in. Aloha.